It's that time again. It's the podcast that takes your personal and professional life to a whole new level. Whether you're selling a product, selling a service, or selling yourself, one thing is for sure. You're always selling for life.
All right, and welcome to another installment of the Selling for Life podcast, sponsored by Conoco Parts, the world of parts with a personal touch. This podcast is about more than just selling stuff. We think if you stick around, you'll get a lot out of it. I'm Steve, your humble host, and this is episode 20. And for those of you who don't speak French, that's 20. We're back. We missed last week. So sorry. Many things happened. I won't go into detail. We were unable to get a show off the ground. We will try not to let that ever happen again, but we hope to make up for it today with a great discussion. And for that, I am joined by Albert Alexander, owner of Conoco Parts, philanthropist, and all-around good guy. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing awesome.
Whoa. How about some sound? How you doing, Al?
I'm doing awesome, especially since I said it twice.
Sorry about that. I turned the sound a little rusty, missing last week, but you're on, you're hot, your mic's hot, you're hot, we're all hot, and this is going to be a hot topic. What do you got going on, Al?
Hey, man. No, just
in your life. Tell me what's going on in your life. You seem real busy today. You had that look on your face like, man, I got a lot to do.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, you know what? I've been opened to, it's kind of an awareness that there are things around me that I'm not handling correctly. Mm-hmm. So I actually have a consultant where I started working with them on Monday.
Okay.
They're kind of following me around, kind of making some notes. We're handling some scheduling, figuring out some best practices, working on some, prioritizations. Awesome stuff.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm glad because you have some self-awareness. You realize that you need some help, and so you brought somebody in to help you.
Guess who it is?
Your mom.
My wife. That was close. I'm serious.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I could literally hire somebody, but I'd rather my wife do it because she would be more honest with me than somebody I would pay.
Oh, that's neat.
I am paying her, but
that's awesome.
Because she won't work for free.
I know your wife. I know her personality, and that's what we're going to be getting into here in just a minute. But why don't you explain to everybody out there what your wife's personality is like?
She is we're talking about the disc profile.
Yeah.
She's a high D.
Right.
And a high C with no I and S. Okay, so I'm a high I and a high D, and she thinks my communicative ability, expression of the I, the influence, is absolutely annoying.
And that brings us to the topic of the day, and the topic of the day is
D, dominance.
DISC, part 2. We are going to continue with the discussion about evaluating personalities, knowing who you are, knowing who others are, how they operate, why they operate the way they operate, and why, and most importantly, how to better communicate with others to achieve positive results, either in sales or in personal relationships, be they husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, coworker, lunch lady, total stranger. We are going to break down the DISC letter by letter, and like you said, we're starting with D, and D stands for what again, Al?
That's dominance in the DISC profile.
Okay. Awesome. Why don't you explain that dominance personality trait for us?
Well, first, let me just start. We use a couple different DISC profiles. One was from discprofile.com, and we have another one we use, a TTI metrics. And I'll have Steve kind of put it in the show notes so you can get a hold of these profiles and do one yourself. There are some free ones online if you just do DISC profile and for free, but they're not as in-depth. But anyways, back to what we were saying. So D for dominance. What do you want to know again, Steve?
Explain that dominant personality there, Mr. Al.
All right.
In other words, explain your wife.
I'll explain my wife. Okay. Wonderful being married to a high D. Well, here it is. People with the D style, right? They place an emphasis on kind of like controlling everything, right? Their environment, the interaction with people, opposition, challenges, results. It's all about that, right? Motivation, winning, competitive, successful. So, that's kind of what drives them. They also like to overcoming challenges first and taking action. So it's all about doing and achieving and, results. So ultimately, if you're around someone like that, they're going to have unique goal accomplishments. They're going to have, interest in new opportunities. They're going to have, kind of the idea of even controlling the people around them to serve those goals. And they're going to be very independent. They're not going to need to necessarily rely on people around them unless it accomplishes their goals. So it's kind of unique to deal with somebody who has a high dominant D.
Gotcha. I definitely do not have that as my personality designation, not a D. And I find it rather difficult sometimes to deal with, to feel comfortable with, to communicate with someone with a high D. Let me ask you this, though. Will two D personalities get along, or will they inevitably clash?
Similar personalities get along with each other. I'll tell you why. Because how they communicate is also how they like to be received.
Okay.
To receive communication.
Gotcha.
What we come into a difficulty is when you go across the lines. That's where the big challenge is.
Gotcha.
So when you want to know about communicating with a D, you were saying?
Yep.
You got to be just straight shooter. Go right to the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
You'll know who's got that D personality pretty quick.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Be brief. Just narrow your discussion down. Don't put a lot of fluff into it. Don't make, big, huge statements of broadness. It's not like you, again, I'm a high I, so I do all the things that the D is annoyed by.
Yeah. Okay.
It's repeating yourself. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I say things 3 times. It's almost like, Sheldon on.
Say that again, please.
I say things 3 times.
One more time. Repeat that.
Yeah, like all the time. I just say it 3 times. Oh, see, I didn't even mind saying it 3 times.
Sorry for everyone out there wasting time. Let's go. We got a lot of D personalities shutting us off right now.
And you got to focus on solutions.
Right.
Solutions, man. Not problems, solutions.
Let me share a quick story. Never even thought about it until studying this topic. When I waited tables, I can remember one particular customer I had. I'm all about, being the fun guy, coming over to the table. Hey, welcome to our restaurant, and it's a beautiful day, and what do you think? And this guy was just he was just being a jerk. I'm just going to put it plain and simple. He was demanding this and this, and he just wasn't, maybe he was in a bad mood too, but he definitely had a D personality. I finally looked him straight in the eye, and I said, I'm going to be doing the best job I can for you, so if you tell me what you need, I'm going to do it. But just drop the attitude. Like that.
Wow.
I was waiting for a volcano to erupt. He looked back at me, almost thanking me with his eyes, and we got along famously from that point on.
He respected you.
He respected that. And so I think that's really right on the line of what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, you broke it down for him. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
Plus you pushed back a little bit so he didn't see weakness.
Yeah, he appreciated that.
I appreciate it. So let me give you an example. Well, first off, let me actually say a little bit about personality, like a D. Mm-hmm. They have a certain natural style as other styles do, and they have to expend a lot of energy because it's so dominant to take on any of the other styles.
Okay.
Like the idea of patience. Mm-hmm. S's, patience. Real patience. C's are patient. The D's have to expend so much energy to be patient or to be sensitive, or even get into the details that, if you're doing that, right, you're trying to win them over with this type of stuff, it just won't connect. It's like putting that round peg into a square hole. square hole into a round peg. I don't know, however you say it. But you just got to understand.
Change up the analogy a little bit. Let's have some fun with it. Like putting a carrot in a. Okay, never mind. Just go ahead.
You're trying to stuff a cantaloupe between your eyes.
I like that.
I don't know.
But yeah, they struggle with the patients, and so they get agitated, I imagine. Trying to do that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's all about awareness too. Mm-hmm. If you are a D, you get that about yourself, and you do want to accomplish results. So sometimes, like myself, I do have my second personality trait is a D. So it's I and then D, and my D is higher. It gives me that drive and things that help me to succeed naturally when it comes to accomplishing results. But I'll run over people, and I'll run over people not with some specific like idea. I'll run over people with this broad, huge vision, and people are like, well, what the heck is he, unrealistic results even. So my I and D mix make it me even worse. The energy you have to expend to do something opposite of your natural style, that's where, again, learning, self-awareness, leaning on other people and collaborating and getting some more insight into yourself is useful. That's why taking these profiles is always nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you, on the D personality, is there any time where you should ever try to lighten up a D personality with a little humor?
Let me just read to you literally how to communicate with a D.
Okay.
If you are, like, say, an I or someone else, like you're talking about.
Right.
Factors that will create tension or dissatisfaction: being giddy, casual, informal, loud, pushy, or pushing too hard, or being unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that.
Okay. Now, how much do you let a D personality get away with dominating a conversation? Is there a time in which a D is too much of a D and they need to step back? Or do you just let the D go? I guess it depends on what the relationship is, right?
You do want to be clear, specific. So pushback is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stick to business, brief and to the point, pushback. Talking about things that are not relevant, mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, you asked, can you be funny? You absolutely can be funny. Usually Ds are very confident in themselves.
Right.
So, I mean, you can make fun of them, go back and forth. They're usually, extroverted in that way.
Right.
Because on this whole scheme of things, the DISC, there's a section of extrovert and there's a section of introvert. So normally Ds are that extroverted person that are leaders and
mm-hmm.
forcing things through. So mm-hmm. you get there.
You'll get a little chuckle out of them, and then they just want to get back on track.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And now that brings us to your inspirational message to people out there about life, whether it has to do with this particular topic or not. I don't care what's on your heart, Al.
Oh, man. I tell you what's on my heart. I'm involved in a kind of a teen group in my local church, and I'm reminded of the challenges of teenagers, right? And if you could learn about someone just that's going on, going through something like that, just remember how when you were a teenager, you had a lot of hormones going through your body.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
And those hormones going through your body just got you all and crazy, and what the heck is going on? So hug a teenager today, even if they don't want you to, because they're weird right now and have brain damage for just a few years. So I'm challenging everybody to hug your teen. Hug a teen, baby.
All right. Well, that does it for the 20th episode of the Selling for Life podcast. Definitely check out our website at sellingforlife.com. Send us an email at contact@sellingforlife.com. And remember, whether you are selling light bulbs or you're trying to convince a D personality, relax, I'm going to take care of you, One thing is for sure, you are always selling for life.